This training will go over adding a digital signature in Adobe and then also attaching a sign design into your as-built. We'll be using Civil 3D 2020 to go over the AutoCAD portion of this. So if you don't have a digital signature in Adobe, you can follow these steps. If you already have a digital signature in Adobe, you can skip these steps. So the first thing you have to do in order to have a design to sign, you have to have a PDF created. So if you're reviewing a plan and the designer gives you a PDF file, or you create the PDF file to sign, you'll see it here, and that's where you'll sign it, being over here in the approved, or maybe you have a checker, but you can have signatures that are located in these signature blocks. So we'll go through the steps of adding a signature in Adobe so you can sign these digitally. With Adobe open, you want to go to the Edit tab under Preferences and then under Signatures. So you'll see Digital Signatures, Creation and Appearance. Go ahead and click More. Comes up with another window, and just leave all these as defaults. You'll go ahead and click New, click OK, and it'll come up with another splash window here. You can create a title for your signature. So if you have multiple signatures for multiple documents, if you're signing, Adobe documents compared to Adobe design plan sets, you can have different signatures and different titles that you can sign those with. The default comes up with your name here and all the different text that can be shown. The configure graphic, you can import a graphic. If you have a sign, like your signature, that basically is your signature, you can take a picture of that and import it as a graphic. Or you can have no graphic and just have your name show up here in that area. Configure text. This basically shows your name, your date. You can have a location, reason. It can have all these checked on here, but the 4 things that are minimum that I would recommend checking is the name, the date, logo, and labels. So this kind of gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. So you'll have your name digitally signed by your name here, the date, and then it has some additional information here for the labels. Now, if you were to select just the graphic, so if you just had a signature, my recommendation of just having your the logo on there and unchecking everything else. So you'd have your digital signature with the Adobe logo kind of in the background. Text properties, text direction. You can make that auto, left to right, right to left. Just so go ahead and select auto. Go ahead and click OK. So in this case, you'll see that I've imported a graphic of my signature. I've unchecked everything except the logo, so you can kind of faintly see the Adobe logo in the background, and kept everything the same as the previous slide, having it auto for the rotation on the text properties. So that's just creating an actual signature block that you can use to sign any Adobe file. So now we're going to go ahead and open up Adobe, and I'll walk you through those steps. So with Adobe open, you want to go to your Edit tab, Preferences, go down to Signatures, and under Digital Signatures, Creation and Appearance, go ahead and click More. Again, you have the defaults up here. Go ahead and keep those the same. I'm going to go ahead and create a new one, and I'm just going to call it Example. So I'm going to leave everything the same: name, date, logo, labels, auto for the text direction. So now I have 2 signatures. I can edit this. It shows what my Dan signature title looks like. And then my example, I can edit that. And it's just a common name which would be my name, and the name here again, and the date. And you'll also, if you see, uncheck the labels, you'll see what goes on and off. And give location. But at a minimum, I would leave the name, date, logo, and labels on there. Go ahead and click OK. You've now created a digital signature that you can use to sign Adobe documents. So now we're going to go through the steps of signing an Adobe file. So once you created a signature appearance in Adobe, you'll now be able to sign the documents in Adobe using the different types of signatures you've created. To sign and design it must be in a PDF format. Follow these steps to create a signed design. Open up the design that you want to sign in Adobe. So in this case, we have a design that was created, and now we're going to go ahead and approve it or sign it. In Adobe, you want to go ahead and rotate the actual document. So you go up to the View tab, rotate View clockwise, and then go ahead and zoom into the signature block area, which is on the bottom right once you rotate it. And a quick way of doing this is holding the Control plus your mouse wheel to zoom in and out. To view the tool panes, go to the View tab, Show, Hide, Tools pane. So View, Show and Hide, and make sure Tool Panes is checked. This will give you some commands on the side that you'll have to select to show your certificate to sign the document. So in order to sign a document, you have to select certificates on the tool pane. If you don't see certificates on the tool pane, then you go ahead and search the tools and type in certificates, and then go ahead and add that to the tool pane. So once you select the certificates in your tool pane, it'll actually bring it underneath of your tabs up above, and you'll go ahead and click the digitally sign. And then what will happen, there'll be a little plus that will appear. You start with that plus and make a box of where you want to put your signature. So the larger that box is, the larger the signature is going to be. So you don't want to make it too small. You want to maximize the area where you want that signature to be shown. Once you created your signature box, a splash window will come up, and it'll ask you for what appearance you'd like to use for your signature. And in this case, there's two of them, standard text and Dan's signature. Go ahead and hit create once you select your signature that you like. If you hit lock document after signing, you will not be able to sign that document anymore. You can't do anything with that document as saving it as something else or overwriting it. So if you do want to lock the document after signing it, make sure that you sign all the pages first and then go ahead and lock that document after you sign it. Once you hit the sign button, it'll ask you to enter your link pass pin. So go ahead and enter that in and click OK. And you'll notice your signature will be shown based off of what you selected in your signature type. And what you'll have to do, you'll have to sign each page in the same file and just keep overwriting it until you get to the last page. And like I said, if you want to lock that document, you can do that on the last page. But if you lock the document on the first signature page, you will not be able to overwrite that or create additional signatures on that PDF document. You can go ahead and rotate and save the document when you've completed signing all the pages. So I'll go ahead and walk you through this steps in Adobe. So once you have your design open, now you're ready to sign it. You'll see on the right-hand side, I have certificates shown, but if you don't, you can go ahead and hit the search tools to bring that certificates up. So if you select certificates, you'll see that it'll come up in a window menu below your tabs here. So you want to go ahead and rotate that window. View, rotate view clockwise. Hit your Control, mouse wheel into the area that you want to assign. This makes it easier to draw your box. Go ahead and select digitally sign. I have a little plus here and make it for the entire size where you're going to sign it. And it asks you to sign with the digital ID. And this is where you would select the text that you want to sign it, how you want to sign it. So based off of what you've created in your signature types, you can add those signatures and select the signature you want to use. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use a standard text, hit sign. Make sure you put the file that you're signing in the tech folder. And that way, when you do the XREF, you'll be able to use that file. It won't be a broken link. So don't put it on like your C username, your file somewhere. It has to be in that working folder that's available. And when you upload it to SharePoint for review, you'll have that also have that uploaded in that same file. So example 658, and again, I recommend just putting approved at the end. Go ahead and click save. Go ahead and type in your PIN for your link pass, and you'll notice the signature is shown here. And then you'll go ahead and continue this for all the additional pages to sign. Digitally sign, make your box, hit sign. Again, you can just overwrite that. And if you chose lock after signing, you would not be able to do this. Go ahead and hit save. Go ahead and replace it, hit yes. Put in your link pass, and you'll notice the signature comes up. So once you have all your pages signed, you can go back to view, rotate view, counterclockwise, and you'll notice you can just double check to make sure that they're all there. In this case, we have all the signatures there. And you can go ahead and hit close out your Adobe. You're done signing the document. So that concludes this session on adding a digital signature to your plan. And then the next step, we're going to go into Civil 3D and actually take that document and place it as an XREF into our as-built design. So now we're going to go ahead and create that PDF copy of the as-built design with the approved PDF signature design that we just created as an XREF underneath our as-built. So once you have that signed design, approved design, it shows your signature here. You want to make sure, again, that that PDF is in the same file location as the DWG. So we're going to create an XREF file. So we're going to XREF that PDF into our drawing that we currently have the as-built that we've completed for this project. So to do so, go ahead and open up external references by typing in the command line XREF. Now you want to add the signed PDF to the design under your as-built layer. So make sure you're on the page one you want to have the PDF inserted on, index, sheet one, etc. Click on the attach down arrow and select attach PDF for type. Splash window will appear to locate the PDF file you want to attach to the drawing. Select the approved file, the one that you actually mark approved next to, and go ahead and click open. It'll give the actual name of the file that you're selecting to attach. So you'll notice with this one, it has 4 sheets associated with it. The path type, make this path type relative path. That's the easiest way to attach an XREF, because what it does is it assumes the current drive letter or the folder of the host drawing. So it's going to go into wherever that DWG is housed in that file location. It's going to search in there for that file. It's going to save it within that file. So relative path is your safest bet to attach any type of documents. Scale, go ahead and keep that unchecked because you don't want to scale this document to make it bigger or smaller because you want to have it basically placed underneath of your DWG file so it lines up correctly. So keep that unchecked. Insertion point, you want to go ahead and check that so you want to actually put it on a spot on the screen that you're going to select. Rotation, you can keep this unchecked or you can put this as 90. It's up to you. I just keep it unchecked and then rotate it as I'll show you here shortly. Go ahead and click OK. So you're going to insert the PDF by selecting insertion point. So in this case, here's my screenshot of my paper space under the index page. Currently, right now, I'm under the blocks layer. Go ahead and select an insertion point for that and click that insertion point. And now it's been inserted as a PDF underlay. Now you want to go ahead and click the bottom hand corner of that and rotate it. You can turn your ortho mode to on, which is, you can do that by selecting F8 or just type in ortho mode and turn it on that way. Go ahead and type RO for rotate and just rotate it 90 degrees. Or if you had selected insertion point for the degrees on your rotation to 90, it should automatically rotate it 90 degrees this direction. Select that PDF and make sure that you put it under the one PDF approved design layer. And that should be in the templates. If not, just go ahead and create one if you don't have that. Now you want to align your PDF to your actual DWG in paper space. So make sure your object snap is on by pressing F3, and you can turn off your ortho mode by hitting F8. Select the drawing corner of the PDF. So you'll see a little line around your PDF, but you actually want to select the drawing corner. Go ahead and select that corner and type M for move, and you're going to put it to the drawing corner of your actual DWG in paper space. You want to make sure the node is on, so you'll see that little node pop up to the corner. So you select that corner here, and then it's going to pop up over in here, and you want to make sure that it's to a node. Then you know you had those lined up correctly. So once you've completed that move, it should look something like this, where you don't even see two separate sheets. They're over top of each other, and you'll notice that it's showing the signature on there, and they should line up correctly. Now, hopefully when you've created your PDF, you've created your document, that you in the page setup manager, that everything is correct, that you didn't fit the page or anything like that, because it will affect this process. So if you didn't print this out correctly originally, it's going to affect everything moving forward. So it's very important that when you go through your page setup manager, that everything is set up correctly originally when you go ahead and publish your design. Now you can turn off all the layers except for the one as-built and the one PDF approved design. And you'll notice here, all I'm showing in this picture is actually the PDF design and my as-built layer. So my as-built is showing here, and my PDF with the signed page. Everything else is off. The next step you want to do is go ahead and select the PDF and just send it to back. So you can right click, send to back. And then in the page setup manager, there's one more step that you need to do. We're in the index page, so you can right click on the index page tab down at the bottom, page setup manager. It'll all default to the index page, and you want to go ahead and click modify. And you just want to uncheck plot paper space last. So the default in our templates is that should be unchecked. But in this case, we want to plot paper space last. So that means what's happening there is you want to plot the PDF last, so it's underneath, if you will, of all the as-built line work. So you'll have to complete this for each page, but you won't have to reload that into your drawing. You can just go type in XREF and you'll see the signed copy there. You just want to go ahead and click attach when you get to your next page. So in this case, we're on sheet number 2. Go ahead and click attach. You just want to select 2. So this is going to be the same process that we did for the index page, and you'll do that for all 4 pages or however many pages you have. Once you've completed that, you can go ahead and publish that as one PDF and call that your as-built, and it'll have your digital signature underneath, and it'll have all your as-built shown on there also. So it gives you a digital copy of your as-built along with the signed page underneath. And you can plot that out. Then you can have on the signature in the front of that design, the inspector, and also the construction approval and the DC to sign those on that signature block. And then you have a completed as-built signed copy. Again, this process will allow you to have a digital copy of the as-built design on the approved PDF design. Just have to keep in mind that once you complete this process, you will then have to publish the drawing into PDF, as I stated earlier. This sometimes may make the file size large because you're basically creating a PDF of a PDF. So the least amount of data that you have in the drawing, the smaller the file size. And you can reduce the file size by using the Purge command. Now, keep in mind that using the Purge command, you can purge out, basically, you can purge anything out in the drawing. Layers, blocks, line types, all the different styles. So if you're completely done with this design and you're ready to just put it away, you can do that purge and just purge everything out. And then that way it'll reduce that file size. So I'll go ahead and walk you through the steps in Civil 3D to conclude this presentation. So with Civil 3D open, I've completed my as-built design shown here. Basically, all my as-built line work is on that one as-built layer. So the first step you want to do, shown here, is just go ahead and open up your index, whatever page you want to work on. So we'll go ahead with the index as the first one. There's all my as-built you can kind of see here. And you'll notice on this side, I've just kind of attached my XREF layer into my workspace. But another way, open up XREF is just type in XREF, hit enter. Again, in this, you want to go ahead and select the down arrow, attach PDF. And you'll have to navigate to where your design folder is and where you put that approved PDF at. So in this case, example 658 approved. Go ahead and click open. And again, it has all the different pages shown here. There's 4 of them. Relative path, specify on screen, unchecked, insertion point. Make sure that's checked. And the specify on screen, I'll keep that unchecked, and then one I'll show the 90 degrees and show you what it does. Go ahead and click OK. So it's giving me an area where to put this. Go ahead and click OK for your insertion point. Now you want to go ahead and rotate, so highlight that and just type in rotate. And if you turn on F8 for the ortho mode, select your base point. In ortho mode, it basically just does 90 degrees. So it's, it makes it a true 90. So if I didn't have ortho mode on, it doesn't give me that true 90, although it will snap to it if you have your O snap on. But to make sure, I just turn on F8 to turn on your ortho mode. Select the 90 degrees, uncheck the F8 to turn that back off, and you'll notice that now we're lined up. Now we need to take our PDF, which is shown here. So we want to turn that on and put that under the PDF approved design layer. You'll notice these are all on their separate layers. It's just like a regular drawing that you have done. It's all different layers. But in this case, we want to move our PDF that we've inserted to line up with our DWG in Paperspace. So you can type in M for move, select the object you want to move, which is the PDF, hit enter, specify base point. So you don't want to select this point. You want to make sure you select the drawing point that's in this corner. And again, F3 to turn your object snap on and off. And you want to make sure you have your endpoint node shown. And again, we're going to go to the endpoint here of the drawing in the DWG. Left click, and you'll notice that basically I have a PDF sitting over top of my DWG. And it's lined up exactly the way it's supposed to be. Once that's done, you now can go ahead and uncheck everything, turn all your layers off, and actually you can create a filter in there and call it as built, and basically you can uncheck everything here by basically going ahead and right click off, and then if you select as built, if you created a filter, and I will have this filter on our I will have the filter located on our templates, so you can do it this way. So just go ahead and select your as-built layers, turn those on, makes it simple. Zoom extents, and now you'll see that you have basically your file that was approved and just your as-builts showing. So the next step is you want to select your PDF file, send that to back, display order, send to back, and then on your index, you want to go to right click on your tab, page setup manager, and under index you want to go to modify, and you want to make sure that you have plot Paperspace last. And in this case, we'll just select Adobe PDF, plot Paperspace last, click OK, hit close, zoom extents, and now I will be ready to plot this, and it will have all my as-built shown over top of my existing drawing. So I'll walk you through the steps on this other page, plan view. So you'll notice again, this is my as-built, just my as-built layer. So you got to turn your layers back on to continue doing this. So you go back to your layers, you can turn these all back on. And again, you want to go in to your XREFs, right click attach, and in this case we're in sheet 2, and in this case I'm going to go ahead and do an angle of 90, click OK, specify your insertion point, and you'll notice that it does it 90 degrees. So you can do it either way. Put this on your PDF design layer. Go ahead and move that. And for move, F8 to turn on your ortho mode. Select your corner, corner, and move it. And again, go back to your layers, right click, visibility off, and then you can go to your as-built and just turn on your PDF and your as-built layers. Select your PDF, right click, display order, send it back. Then again, right click on your tab for your page setup manager. And in this case, if you want to mimic what you've done in the first page, which is your index page, you can select the index page and you can go ahead and set current. Hit close, and it's going to create the exact same setup that you did in the index page. So you don't have to go through all those steps. So you go ahead and continue this throughout all the pages. So now once you've completed all the pages, you can go in and publish. And just make sure it's set up as PDF. Go ahead and hit publish. Then again, you want to select the actual location of where you're publishing this to. And we'll call this as built. If you want to save the current list of sheets, go ahead and click it no. And then it'll publish in the background. So once it's completed, you can go ahead and open up the folder. And you'll notice that you have the signed copy with the as-built showing here. And then you just have to print this out, but it shows all your as-built information directly over top of the PDF that's signed. Just makes it for a nice way to do your as-built digitally. And again, keep in mind that if you have multiple pages, you want to make sure that you purge those out because the file size could get a little bit big on these. I think on this one, you're at 19,000, compared to just the actual PDF was at 3,800. So just keep in mind that the file size does get a little bit larger with these PDFs. So if you have multiple pages, it does get larger. That concludes this video of adding a signature in Adobe and placing the signed copy in your as-built design to print it out digitally.